Keller is going to give us a few words of introduction.
Well, first of all, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the world premiere of Wrangler Ross's Radio Ranch. My name is Dick Keller, and I'm a member of Scandia Lodge, the Sons of Norway organization that's based here in Laconia, and we serve the greater five-state area with Scandinavians of all types. So welcome, everybody's welcome here. Tonight is a special event for us in several ways. It's our new member recruitment and member appreciation night. And we have over here to the right an information table with some minimal amount of information on Scandia Lodge. A newsletter you can sign up for if you don't get it already. And we also have a representative from Sons of Norway, Matt Kern. Raise your hand. And he can provide you information on financial and insurance products that Sons of Norway has. Thanks for coming, Matt. One of the goals of Scandia Lodge is to preserve and promote Scandinavian heritage and culture. And a second goal we have is a scholarship program for young people to attend a culture and language camp. And we meet and we try to have fun doing both, and I think we're pretty good at it. This is a good example tonight. Our program tonight was commissioned by Scandia Lodge and produced and written by Pete Holbrink, a longtime friend of Scandia Lodge. Pete, are you in the audience someplace? Oh, Pete has an important role. He wrote it, so he's got an important role in the program. Thank you, Pete, for all your contributions. And this program, as you can kind of see, is a radio show. And it is a tribute to an old-time radio show that happened by a couple of Norwegian-Americans back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. The Iverson brothers, Ernest and Clarence, better known to some as Slim Jim and the Vagabond Kid. How many of you have heard of Slim Jim? That kind of gates you, I guess. Well, Slim Jim and Vagabond Kid had a very laid-back style of performing, and they had a folksy way of communicating stories and humor, but they were best known for their music, and they sang country western songs, gospel songs, Scandinavian songs, and part of their repertoire included classics like Jan Jansen's Bedding and The Drifting, Whispering Snow, both of which you'll hear tonight, so be prepared. Now, we have recruited a couple of modern-day Norwegian-Americans to be characters in this radio show, and they're up to my left tonight. Now, they can't sing, so we've got some really good singers performing with them. We've had to borrow sound equipment from Ross's newly remodeled garage, and I think it works, but before we blow out a fuse, sit back, relax, enjoy the world premiere of Wrangler Ross's Radio Ranch.
All right, is this thing on? Oh, all right, folks. Let's see, we're on the air in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to FM 120 and 5/8 on your radio dial. The following program is brought to you live from Laconia, Minnesota on station UFDA.
Radio Oofda. Cue the band.
Good dog, all you
folks out there in Radio Land, and welcome to another live broadcast of Wrangler Ross Radio Ranch. Our show tonight is brought to you by Storesgard Slaughterhouse Meats, where they do the killing and we do the grilling. I'm your host, Wrangler Ross, along with my crusty, musty sidekick, Gaylen, Gallopin' Gaylen.
Partner?
And of course, we mustn't forget the biggest little band in the barnyard, Art Björngeld and the Lonesome Polecats. So, what do you say we get this show on the road?
Well, let's get busy then.
All right, yeah, welcome everybody. Oh, we got a special show for you today. We've got some really good music. We've got some really bad yokes, and of course, well, we got some special guests, and of course, we got the whole barnyard back here. That's also going to be entertained and critique our show. But let's tell the folks about the special guests we got. Gaylen, you got that list over there?
Did you give me that list?
I'm sure I did, but how about this? Why don't you just get us started with a yoke? Can you manage that?
Yeah, I think so. I got that. Yeah. So, when Ole and Lena was young and in love, they would drive out to their favorite parking spots. And one night while they was hugging and kissing, Ole said to Lena, "Lena, would you like to go in the back seat?" And Lena says, "Well, no." So they hugged and they kissed some more. And pretty soon Ole says again, "Lena, would you like to go in the back seat?" And Lena says, "For Pete's sake, Ole, why do you keep asking me to go in the back seat? I want to stay in the front with you."
That was the worst yoke you've ever told. Where did you hear that one?
Well, I got it from you.
Must have been the way you told it then.
No? Well, why don't you tell one then?
All right. So, Ole and Sven lived next to each other, and one day Sven said to Ole, Ole, I think you better get some curtains on that window of yours. Really? Why is that? Well, Sven said, I saw you and Lena getting a little romantic there in front of the window, and you should get some curtains. Ole said, wait a minute, the yoke's on you, Sven. I wasn't even home last night.
Yeah, you can't be too careful nowadays. You never know who's out there trying to sneak a peek at your monkey business.
What did you say? Sneak a peek. Say, is it Pete? Yeah, you know that one, isn't it? Peeking through the keyhole.
Here we go, boys. 1, 2, 3.
I was peeking through the keyhole, and what I saw you doing wasn't right. Someone else was kissing you, now do you call that being true? When I was peeking through the keyhole last night, you was gazing in his eyes, and he was heaving sighs, and that no good low-down Swede, he had more arms than a centipede. I was peeking through the keyhole. I never will forget that awful sight. First you give that guy a hug, and then you kissed him on the mug. When I was peeking through the keyhole last night. Take it, Art. Peeking through the keyhole. I blew up like a stick of dynamite. You was sitting on his knee just like you used to do with me when I was peeking through the keyhole last night. You was mossing up his hair. He was too mixed up to care. I I was mad, so I could be, 'cause you once played all those games with me. I was peeking, peeking, peeking through the keyhole, and what you did to me just wasn't right. You broke my heart and soul. You stuck a hat in through the hole when I was peeking through the keyhole last night.
Thank you, Pete and the band. Well, that could have been a lot worse, but now it's time for a word from one of our very good sponsors, Paul Schroed's Plumbing and Heating, right over here in St. Bonifacius. And here to tell us all about it is Gaylen. Gaylen?
Folks, is your sink on the blink? Has your crapper blown the flapper? Then you need to give Paulsrud Plumbing and Heating a call. Owner Don Paulsrud has the experience to save you behind in just about any plumbing emergency. And if you need to update your powder room but don't know a street elbow from a hex nipple, don't bust a gasket. Don will have you sitting pretty before you can say plumber's butt. So the next time your septic feels backed up, remember, call Paulsrud Plumbing and Heating, where the Donald is ready to drain the swamp.
All right, let's see, what's next now? Oh, yeah. Our roving society reporter, Gunvar Björklund, is going to tell us about all the stuff that's happening around the town. Gunvar?
She isn't here.
Oh, where the... Anybody seen Gunvar? Where the hell is she? I think we know where she is, right? So, Gunvar Björklund. Welcome, Gunvar.
Hey, Gunvar, did you turn on the fan?
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Now let's just get on with it.
Yes, we've got this important news tonight. So, Gaylen, could I get some breaking news music, please? We interrupt this broadcast with a special live report. Last night's annual Lutefisk supper at Faith Lutheran was rocked by scandal. It seems that an absent-minded church basement lady accidentally left the refrigerator door open on the weekend before the event, causing the fish to spoil. According to diners interviewed at the hospital the next day, they said it was the best lutefisk they've ever tasted. In other news, I'm told there may be wedding bells in the very near future for Waconia's most eligible bachelor, local veterinarian, and taxidermist, Harold Goodmanson. Apparently Heartbreak Harry, as he's known by the ladies down at Snap Fitness, recently sent away to Norway for one of those mail-order brides. Harry says the price is right. The only problem is, once you sign up, they keep sending you a new relative once a month, whether you want them or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Gunvar. Very good. Actually, that was one of her best reports. The chickens. Check on Drumstick and Mazzola over here. I think they need a little bit of attention over there.
You know, Ross, it's kind of sad that Gunvar's husband hasn't talked to her in over a year.
Oh, why's that?
Well, I think it's because he doesn't like to be interrupted.
Oh, yeah, well, okay. Gaylen, do you know, I bet you know what time it is. What time is it? It is time for one of our most popular features, Dialing for Coffee Cake. And Gaylen here, the first thing we have to do is find out what the secret word is. Now, Gaylen, tell everybody in the listening audience and here in the studio, what is our secret word for today?
The secret word for today is Ufta. Oh, remember that word now.
All right, all you folks out there listening in, the secret word is what? Ufta. right. And in order to help us out, we're going to ask Diane from the band to come on over here and help us. Diane Deering, folks. We're really fortunate to have Diane with us. She just finished her world tour of the washboard. If you hear solo washboard compositions, you can be sure that it was Diane that wrote those. And so she'll be, we won't have time for a solo washboard tonight, but you can join her this winter when she leads a cruise, of course, on the Norwegian Cruise Line, where she's playing the washboard every night in the ship's theater there. And so she calls it her Washed Ashore Tour. All right, Diane. So let me tell you how this works. Diane is going to reach in the fishbowl here and pull out a name. Now, Gaylen has been cutting names out of the Carver County phone book all day. Gaylen, put some more in there. Did you get through the whole phone book there, Gaylen?
No, I only got through the letter J.
To the letter J. Well, that's probably good enough. All right. And so Diane is going to reach in the bowl. She's going to pull out a name. And I am going to call that person up. And if they know the secret word, they will win this lovely lemon custard-filled coffee cake made by Snewstead's Scandinavian Bakery and Bait Shop right over here in Binford. Yes, all right. So, wait a minute. Somebody's been picking at that over there. Just, neaten up the edges there a little bit. I think it'll be all right.
Donut dipping a little bit.
All right, a little picking the name music, please. Okay, random? That's random? All right, Diane, thank you. Oh, she also plays the cowbell. Yeah, she's really something. All right, so who we got here? Wait a minute. Mrs. Artis Jacobson from Mayer, Minnesota. Well, all right, let's call up Artis and see if she's listening. I finally got a dial tone. It's ringing. It's ringing. You can hear it. Hello?
Yeah?
Hello, is this Mrs. Jacobson?
Yes, who are you?
Oh, this is Wrangler Ross from the Wrangler Ross Radio Show. How are you this morning?
Is this about replacement storm windows again?
No, Mrs. Jacobson. We're playing Dialing for Coffee Cake, and you're live on the radio right now.
I told you before, I can't afford no storm windows.
No. If you can tell me the secret word, you will win a very nice prize.
My son told me never to give out my password over the phone.
Oh, Mrs. Jacobson, no, I don't want your password. Are you listening to our show right now?
I don't have time to listen to you. Wheel of Fortune is going to be on any minute now.
No. Please, the secret word, how about if you just took a stab at it? You know, just a wild guesstimate.
I don't want no free estimates either. Now, goodbye. Oofda!
Oh, looks like we have a winner.
Yes, we do. Mrs. Jacobson will be receiving, well, at least what's left of it. All right, all you listeners out there, thanks for playing Dialing for Coffee Cake.
Ross, what the heck you been doing in there all day?
Oh, for crying out loud, Jan, we're just trying to do our radio show here.
Well, quit fooling around and go fix the manure spreader like I asked you.
Oh boy, Ross, looks like you're in for it now.
And is that no good bum Gaylen out there with you? Yeah, well, tell him to go home. His wife Jenny is looking for him.
Ay. Oh boy, listening to her reminds me of that time when old Carl England got so sick.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he was so sick they had to ask the doctor to come out and see him in his bedroom, and the doctor came out and examined Carl, and then he pulled Carl's wife Greta aside in the hall, and he says, "Oh, Greta, I'm sorry, but it's a lot worse than I thought." "Oh, really?" said Greta. "What can we do?" "Well, there are 3 things we can do to ensure Carl's survival." "Oh, anything," says Greta. "Well, number 1, you must fix Carl 3 healthy meals a day." "Oh, yeah, and all right." "Number 2, you must not start any arguments and no complaining or anything like that." "Oh, well, okay." "And number 3, you must have marital relations with Carl every night before he goes to bed. It'll relax him and ensure that he is sleeping well." Well, the doctor leaves and Greta goes in the bedroom, and Carl says, "Well, what did the doctor say?" "I'm sorry, Carl, but you're not going to make it."
You know, Ross, you tell a lot of jokes about wives and marriage and stuff, but come on, it really isn't always that bad.
No, it's really fun most of the time. But what was really fun were those weddings, and man, we had a swell time at all those weddings. I think they even wrote a song about it. Something like Jan Jansen's wedding. You know that one, Art?
Yeah, we know it, boys.
Oh,
1, 2, 3.
We had a fancy party at the hall the other day. We had a jolly time, that's what all the people say. And all the Scandinavians, they came dressed up in their best for Jan Jansen and Cecilia Jensen's wedding. There was Charlie Anderson and Emil Anderson and Gustav Anderson and Carl Anderson and Per Anderson, Hjalmar Anderson, and her Anderson was there too. The bride, she was so lovely, 'cause she was dressed in white. Her hair was trimmed with roses, her face it smiled so bright. And then the preacher said, "God, you are Jan Jansen's wife." And we all jumped up and sang at Jansen's wedding.
Who was there?
There was Charlie Peterson and Emil Peterson and Gustav Peterson and Carl Peterson, Per Peterson and Hjalmar Peterson. Pete Peterson was there too. We had a lot to eat that night, the supper it was fine. With knäckebröd and lutefisk I ate most all the time. Lingonberry, sylte, coffee and a sweet, that's what we had to eat at Jansen's wedding. There was Charlie Swanson and Emil Swanson and Gustav Swanson and Carl Swanson, Per Swanson, Hjalmar Swanson, Swanson was there too. We played a lot of games that night, but we sure had fun. The girls, they was so jolly, I kissed most everyone. My wife, she took me by the arms, and that's enough for you. Oh, I never will forget Jan Jansen's wedding. There was Charlie Larson and Emil Larson, Gustav Larson and Carl Larson, Per Larson and Hjalmar Larson, Lars Larson was there too. The next morning then we woke up, we all was sick in bed. I had a splitting headache, I wished that I was dead. But everyone kept talking, what a lot of fun we had. Oh, you bet your life we did at Jansen's wedding. There was Charlie Wilson and Emil Wilson and Gustav Wilson and Carl Olsen, Per Olsen, Hjalmar Olsen, Ole Olsen was there too. Thank you, everyone. Clean up that edge there that you took that on there. All right, it's time now for our local sports roundup, and here's our own guru of the gridiron, Gallopin' Gaylen, to tell us all about it.
And welcome to
today's Sports Roundup. Well, the District 5 cow pie throwing semifinals between the Minnetrista Muckbreakers and the Leicester Prairie Patty Cakes got off to a slippery start last Saturday. Then an early morning thunder shower turned all of the cow pies into well, let's just say it made it a little hard to throw for distance. They had to be halted until volunteers from Carol's Cotton Curl Salon could bring over a couple of hairdryers to dry things out a little bit. Team Captain Jens Anderberg says the match ended in a draw. But his roses look better than ever this year. Finally, over in Norway, Young America, the International Horseshoe Pitching Invitational ended up as a 42-zip rout of the Swedes by the Norwegians. Something sounds strangely familiar about that.
That happens a lot, as I recall, yeah.
Anyway, the game was called after time after 3 hours of play because the Swedes never figured out you had to take the shoes off the horses first. And that's it for our Sports Roundup, folks. Thanks for listening. I'm Gaylen Tuggan.
All right. Thank you, Gaylen. That was a really swell report. All right, folks. Now, next is another regular feature of our broadcast here. We call it our calendar of events for our local Scandia Lodge. You know, that bunch of folks are a real busy bunch, and we like to let everybody know what they're doing so that they can all keep up. So let's begin here. Now, on Monday, Mabel Berg of Augusta will have her artificial hip removed and cleaned up due to an infection that set in after she tripped and fell while getting the mail.
Ah, yes, good news. Oh, you'll all be relieved to know that the wait is over. Mrs. Gladys Snudstedt of rural Leicester Prairie finally passed her stones last Tuesday, so she doesn't need that gallbladder surgery after all.
Oh, well, that is good news. That was going to take up a whole day. Yeah, all right. Leonard Paulsett of Gaylen, Minnesota, learned that he has the gout, and he'll start treatment on Wednesday.
Knut Torkelson of St. Bonifacius has a busy evening planned tonight.
Oh.
Guzzling a full gallon of electrolytes laced with that raspberry Kool-Aid in preparation for an early morning colonoscopy. Oh boy, Ross, I know that look. Don't get started with the colonoscopy jokes again.
Oh, yeah, that raspberry Kool-Aid. Oh, no. We wouldn't want to make poor Knut the butt of our joke.
Oh yeah, Knut's gonna find out just exactly how it feels to be a Muppet.
All right, that's enough of the wisecracks. Okay, we'll get back to business here. All these folks will be getting their treatment right here in our own hospital, Overlook Mercy Hospital, right here in Waconia. And now for the bad news.
Agnes Halverson passed away last week, and her funeral is on Friday. A luncheon featuring Agnes's favorite ham salad sandwiches and Jello salad will be served. Is that the one with the sliced bananas and Kool-Aid?
Well, when you add the bananas, I sort of think of that as a dessert. A lime yellow with the slivered carrots and celery, that's more of a salad. But, boy, the ham salad sandwiches, they're to die for. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's my line.
Yeah, I think that's right.
He's trying to hog the show.
Well, anyway, let's move on. That's enough of the Scandia Lodge events.
You're listening to FM UFDA.
Radio Oofda.
Well, folks, if it's not already too late, we're going to try class up the show a little bit here with a little Scandinavian culture. Don't worry, Gaylen, it isn't going to hurt a bit. We're going to invite the lovely and talented Stephanie Smith to come forward, who's going to sing a song by one of Norway's most celebrated composers, Edvard Grieg. It's a song that many of you know. Feel free to sing along if you like. It's called Solveig's Song. Stephanie, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, Ross, this is one of the songs from Grieg's Peer Gynt suite. written in 1874 to accompany Henrik Ibsen's 5-act drama, Peer Gynt.
So what's a Peer Gynt?
No, Peer Gynt is the main character of the story. He's kind of a wild young man who's always going off on these fantastic adventures, and some real, some are imaginary. Although he's in love with Solveig, he deserts her for years at a time. Even so, she remains true to him. She sings, "The winter may go, and the spring, summer may disappear. But I know you will return, and I will wait for you as I promised so long ago."
Stephanie Smith, ladies and gentlemen, with Solveig's song.
I'll sing along.
Gaylen, looks like, are you all right? You need a hanky or anything?
No, I got it.
All right. All right, now let's see what's next here. Oh, well, it's our own Carver County weather reporter, Elsa Vinstead. Elsa, come on out here. Let's get a full report on the weather coming up.
Thank gosh.
Oh, my cake. Yeah.
The National Weather Service has issued a strong winds advisory tonight for the area around Cologne, following the DFL beam feed at the fire station. Folks could experience gusts of up to 80 miles an hour if a second system from the Zion Lutheran Sauerkraut supper reaches the area at about the same time. There will be a touch of frost in the air tonight at the home of Helga and Niles Amundsen. Seems Helga asked Niles to take out the trash, so he invited that recently divorced Tracy Trondheim next door to go to the Legion Club with him. Finally, looking at our long-range forecast, it seems we could be in for a cold, snowy winter. I just talked to my friend Lena up in Teeth River Falls this morning. She says they got a foot of snow last night. The wind was blowing like crazy out of the north, and the wind chill was down to about 5 below. Her husband, Ole, had done nothing all day but look through the kitchen window and stare. She says if it gets much worse, she may have to let him in. This has been Elsa Winstead reporting for Radio
Oh, Munga Talk, Elsa. All right, say, on your way out, make sure the door is shut. I feel a little draft in here.
You know, Ross, all of this talk about winter weather kind of reminds me of that Halloween snowstorm back in 1991. You remember that one?
Oh, that was a bad one, yeah. We were out trick-or-treating with the children, and it was really bad, but it wasn't as bad as the one when Jan and I got married. Oh, that was really bad. That was so bad, I think they wrote a song about it, right, Jan? It's the whistling, drifting snow, or the drifting whistling. What, do you know either version of that one?
Yeah, we can do either one.
All right, pick one.
1, 2, 3. Sing it, ladies. The drifting, whistling snow between two snowbanks when I opened my door next morning. And for hours and hours I wandered aimlessly through the snow, seeking the answers to the many questions that was racing through my feeble brain. Where was everything? Where was my sidewalk? My driveway? My holy lobby? At last I was all pooped out. So I took a shoe of snooze and scratched my head and wondered where to go. All at once I realized I was a prisoner here in the valley of the drifting, whistling snow. And my wife, she whispered to me, I got to go to Lady Zane, shovel out that old jalopy. She handed me the spade. Now the settlers and the miners broke their backs with pick and hoe. But I tell you, that was nothing like the drifting, whistling snow. So I took my scoop and started where that old jalopy stood. But after endless hours of shoveling snow, all I saw was just the hood. Then the snow began to drifting, and the wind began to blow, and my jalopy still is resting neath the drifting, whistling snow. How I left my old snow shovel lying there upon the snow, while I went in the house to dry my hands and warm my frozen toes. While I was gone, the snowbank began to grow and grow. Now my shovel too is resting beneath the drifting, whistling snow.
gives me the chills every time I hear it. Yeah,
You know what gives me the chills, Ross?
What's that?
We got another election coming up.
Oh, yeah, I don't think anybody knows about that. Yeah, we just had an election, but due to some irregularities at the polls, we have to have a runoff here in District 47A. Now, one of the public service things we do on the show is we invite the candidates to come up here and be interviewed and to tell us about their campaign. And we have one of those candidates with us here tonight. Let's see now, who is this? Just a second here. Oh yeah, it's, well, he's from the Nordic Naturist Party. We're going to hear more about that, I'm sure. Mr. Carl Erik Nakenrud. Carl Erik Nakenrud.
Here's my campaign manager right here, Mr. Schultz.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Nakenrud.
Thank you for having me, Russ, but please call me Carl, yeah?
Well, sure, okay, well, Carl, you haven't got a stitch of clothes on.
Oh, yeah, that's right, that's correct, yeah,
What's going on there?
Yeah, well, you know, actually, it represents our entire party platform.
But does this have anything to do with your run for the legislature?
Yeah, you see, we are in the Nordic Naturist Party, believe that clothing is a special symbol of inequality and oppression. We advocate freedom from repressive societal norms by going about as nature intended on a daily basis.
So you say people should never wear clothes?
No. But obviously there are some activities where clothing may be advisable. How about frying bacon, for example? Art building, yeah. But by and large, most things can be done better and more freely when one isn't hampered by restrictions imposed by clothing.
So, Carl, you'd consider jumping jacks advisable?
Well, most of the time, but when it's cold outside, you want to be careful.
Not the bike rider either.
Oh, yeah. If you aren't careful on the stop, you can slide right off. Yeah,
but you can't go around naked all the time. What about work?
Well, interesting you should say that, Ross. Because, you know, that's how I became a naturist in the first place.
What do you mean?
Well, at my last job, I began coming in late to work. One day, my boss came up to me and said, "Nakenrud, I want you to be in your butt in this chair at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning." And it just started from there.
So that's how you became a nudist, but how did this political thing get started?
Yeah. I used to belong to a nudist colony up near Mora. One day we found a hole that some of the locals had drilled in the fence, so we reported it to the police.
What happened?
Well, what they said is they'd look into it.
That makes my eyes jiggle just thinking about it.
After that, we were forced to bring our concerns to the public. So we decided to form a political party. There was only one slight problem, you know.
One slight problem? Only one?
Just one.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, we had some campaign buttons made up, but being nudists, we had nowhere to pin them.
Okay, well, thanks for visiting with us today, Carl. I must say, of all the candidates, you got the most skin in the game.
Thank you, Ross. And remind your listeners to be sure to get out and vote. I would really appreciate your support.
Yeah, we will. We will give you all our support. But first.
So, Carl, Ross and I would like to thank you for appearing as our special guest here on the Wrangler Ross Radio Show.
Really?
And in appreciation, we'd like to send you off with a little gift.
Oh, what's that?
You know, Carl, for a nudist,
Yeah?
a fig leaf is about as casual as you can get.
Oh,
So we got you this dazzling,
oh,
formal outfit.
thank you.
And the only thing is,
Yeah.
it only comes in one size.
Oh,
And that would be small.
That may be okay, yeah.
So, Carl,
Yeah.
we're gonna
How
just,
about a photograph?
oh, yeah, that's kind of a,
Oh,
yeah, we're gonna get a photo.
Oh, photograph, yeah. Oh, good, yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah. Say cheese. Yeah. Expression.
Is he gone?
I think he's gone now, yeah. All right. Oh, yeah, that's a real good idea. That's actually too short. Naked root, I wonder if that's Scandinavian.
I think it's Swedish.
Yeah. Well, what's that goofy guy that used to live next to us?
That was
Do you remember him?
That goofy Swede from North Dakota.
Swede from North Dakota. I think that's. Oh, you folks, I think that's the name of a song, and I bet these boys know it, don't you?
You bet we do. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I've been a Swede from North Dakota, worked on the farm for about 2 years. I'm going back to Minnesota to take a look at the big state fair. Buy me a ticket, buy me a bottle, get me up clean out of sight. I jump on him hills, lit the red wagon. I feel so good that I feel for a fight. Walking around in South Minneapolis, I walked into a saloon for fun. There I sees a great big sweet gal, she slaps me on the back, says hello. I turn around and I feel so funny, I ain't seen this girl before, I think. And I've been foxy, I says, hello Alta, won't you come and have a drink? Then we drank and we feel so jolly, and we start to dance and sing. And I says to all the sweet fellers, I'm gonna pay for the whole blame thing. Waking up in Yale next morning, next to the feller what they call the bull. Judge says we can based in dollars, 'cause we've been so awful full. Full of bull, I think. I look around in all my pockets, I ain't can find no money for bail. Nothing left for this poor Swede man but to spend 10 days in Yale. Not Harvard, Yale. So I'm going back to North Dakota, find me a job on the farm somewhere. And I says to all the sweet fellers, go jump in the lake with your big state fair.
Yeah, them polecats just keep getting better all the time, don't they, Ross?
Well, yeah, maybe by the time the show's over, they'll get the hang of it. But we got a brand new sponsor here on the show, Ronnie Krolstad's Country Kitchen, right here in downtown Waconia.
Oh, yeah, we've had some pretty good eating
Oh,
there.
yeah, both of us have been over there. You know, Ronnie Krolstad, he's planned some trendy new menu items for all you foodies out there. He calls it his Scandinavian-Mexican fusion. Mostly confusion, but there's a lot of that. And, well, there's some pretty interesting combinations, huh?
See, I like his lefts on walleye burritos.
Oh, yeah, with that drizzled butter over the top. Oh, you can't beat that.
Oh, pretty spicy, though.
Well, don't worry. You can add them. You can put on your own salt and pepper. Yeah. But then you've also got the what are those enchilada? Pickled pig's feet enchiladas. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boneless, of course. And then there's Oh, the one I had was the guacamole hot dish. Oh, and then it had the chow mein noodles sprinkled over the top.
And don't forget those delicious craft cocktails.
Yeah. I had the one that was whiskey and aquavit and prune juice. What did he call that?
I think they call that the whiskey a go-go.
Whiskey a go-go, that's it. Yeah,
That's it.
All right, folks, so tonight take the whole family down to Kvalsted's Country Kitchen, where there's always 2 items on the menu. What are they, Gaylen? Take it or leave it. Oh boy, what now?
Ross, get washed up and come in the house right now. Your dinner's getting cold.
Oh, yeah, just let it get cold. I really just don't give a hoot.
Hey, that sounds like the cue for our next song. I don't give a hoot. What do you say, guys?
Give a hoot, yeah, we can do it.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
My wife, she says, now Ole, do you think that this is cute? There's not a single button left on your union suit. I said, so up the front of it, just like a flour sack. And I'll go in and out to the trapdoor in the back. Oh, I don't give a hoot. I just don't give a hoot. We got plenty trouble, but I just don't give a hoot.
Oh, Yelmer, he's our oldest boy. He's quiet like a mouse. He built himself an aeroplane out of the chicken house. He went to bed and dreamed all night of how he'd loop the loop. He woke up in the morning and went out and flew the coop.
I don't give a hoot. I just don't give a hoot. We got plenty trouble, but I just don't give a hoot. My neighbor, he raised 20 kids. Now they're old and weak. They never liked each other. No, they hardly ever speak. Their furnace, it exploded. And it blew them up so high. It was the first time they'd been out together in 8 years last July. I don't give a hoot. I just don't give a hoot. We got plenty trouble, but I just don't give a hoot.
I got one.
Got one?
Yeah. My uncle, he is screwy, but he's always feeling grand. At breakfast time, he sits and stirs his oatmeal in his hand.
That's weird.
We took him to the doctor. He's the one that cured our goats. Your uncle, he's okay. He says he's only feeling his oats.
Oh, I don't give a hoot. I just don't give a hoot. We got plenty trouble, but I just don't give a hoot.
I'm a little worried about your attitude. I think maybe you should start to go into church a little more often.
Well, I was in church last Sunday. Yeah, that's when I saw Ole there at the church, and he was standing in the back of the church, and he was looking at a plaque that we have hanging on the back of the wall there, and there's American flags all around it, and there's names on the plaque, and he was really confused. The pastor walked over to him, and he says, Ole, can I help you? Yeah. Ole says, what is this plaque here on the wall? Well, the pastor said, those are the names of all the members of our congregation that have died in the service. Holy said, which service? The 8:30 or the 10 o'clock?
Well, I go to the 8:30. Nobody ever died there, so it must have been the 10 o'clock.
I don't think you got it, but I'll explain it to you later. All right? But speaking of church, folks, as we always do, we try to end our program. There was the good word that you were looking for, right? End our program with a little bit of gospel music, just to make sure we got all our bases covered. And of course, here to sing us out is the lovely and talented Marcia Williamson with one of our favorites. I know it's Gaylen's favorite, the Church in the Wildwood.
1, 2, 3.
In the valley, in the wildwood, no lovelier place church in the mail. No spot is so dear to my childhood as a little brown church in the mail.
Well, folks, just when you think this show couldn't get any worse, something wonderful happens. It ends. That's our show for tonight, and I'd like to thank all of the folks that have been helping us out over here. Now, we've got Dave Sensala over here on bass, Bruce Collison on drums, Mike Christopherson on piano. Of course, we've got Diane Deering on the washboard and the cowbell. We have Stephanie and Marcia, our vocalists. Of course, we got the lonesomest polecat of them all, Pete Holdra. And finally, the leader of the whole polecat gang, Art Bjorndale. Also, certainly a special note here to Frank Voss, who was our set engineer. We've got Jerry Cale over there, our sound engineer. John Oskahagi on our sound effects. The bottomless pit of money, Dick Keller, who bought all our lunch, as well as the marketing. And of course, we can't forget our muses. We've got Drumstick and Mazzola here in the cage. And last but not least, Susan Bertle, who's back here and was our stage manager. So thank you all for coming out tonight. Tune in next week when we're gonna broadcast from Strickland Scandinavian Gifts and Hardware right over there in Victoria. Until then, I'm Wrangler Ross.
And I'm Gallopin' Gaylen.
And reminding all you cowpokes out there, always store in a cool, dry place, don't overwater, and never squat with your spurs on. Adios! Adios!
In the wildwood, oh come to the church in the vale. No spot is so dear to my childhood as the little brown church in the vale. As the little brown church in the vale.
Say, is it Pete? Yeah, you know that one, isn't it? Peeking through the keyhole.
Here we go, boys. 1, 2, 3.
I was peeking through the keyhole, and what I saw you doing wasn't right. Someone else was kissing you, now do you call that being true? When I was peeking through the keyhole last night, you was gazing in his eyes, and he was heaving sighs, and that no good low-down Swede, he had more arms than a centipede. I was peeking through the keyhole. I never will forget that awful sight. First you give that guy a hug and then you kissed him on the mug. When I was peeking through the keyhole last night. Take it, Art. Peeking through the keyhole. I blew up like a stick of dynamite. You was sitting on his knee just like you used to do with me when I was peeking through the keyhole last night. was mossing up his hair. He was too mixed up to care. I was mad some I could be, 'cause you once played all those games with me. I was peeking, peeking, peeking through the keyhole, and what you did to me just wasn't right. You broke my heart and soul. You stuck a hat in through the hole. When I was peeking through the keyhole last night. Thank you, Pete.